So the Las Vegas Aces have had a rough start to the year. They haven't even had that difficult a schedule, and they're 6-6. They have not even had, like, they've played the Liberty once. In fairness, they played the Lynx twice. I think they played the Storm once. They played the Mercury. They've lost twice to Mercury. Heck, they lost to the Mercury before Brittany Griner came back. The Mercury were struggling massively before that. I know they beat the Mercury with Brittany Griner, but that involved a masterclass. And this is with A'ja Wilson playing the best basketball of her career. So before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are less than 150 subscribers away from 7.5k. If we can somehow hit that by tip-off tomorrow, that would be insane. If we can hit that by tip-off of this game, that would be absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. They are 6-6. They are going to screw up a guaranteed, what looks to be a guaranteed MVP. And right now, I'm not gonna lie, with the way the records and things are standing, I don't think, like, obviously, A'ja Wilson is far and away the MVP, but like, this is the Luka effect. If you're not gonna give Luka the MVP for winning 50 games, you can't really, oh, obviously, some of the, there probably is an overlap in voters to some extent, but you can't argue A'ja Wilson's the MVP then, even though she's clearly the best player in the world, because her team is 500 right now. And it's not like we're a quarter of the way into the season. This would be like an NBA team being like 12-12, considering they played double the games. Like, that is concerning. Like, that is really concerning. If the Denver Nuggets started off 12-12, if the Boston Celtics started off 12-12, it would be very concerning. And you might be saying, oh, Chelsea Gray's like not back. She's been listed as active. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know when Chelsea Gray is going to play basketball again. She's barely even running. She's just doing ball handling drills. Chelsea Gray, people are saying she's not playing until the Olympics. It's all mind games. I don't know what the hell's happening with her. I don't know what is wrong with the fact that, like, they literally, to win a game, they need one of Jackie Young or Kelsey Plum to go berserk. If either of them haven't, like, and I mean go berserk, I mean like Jackie Young dropping 30-something points. They need Kelsey Plum to go berserk. Otherwise, they're not beating teams. Like, they lost to the Liberty today. And you might be saying, oh, but like Liberty, or they're missing their point guard. They're missing Chelsea Gray. The Liberty were also missing their point guard. So they were down at one stage. I'm pretty sure, was it like 15? I think it was 15 if I'm not mistaken. Like, they won by 8 in the end. I think it was 15. So I want to see what the highest deficit was. The highest deficit I can see, yeah, it was 15. No, sorry, it was 20. After Jonquel Jones hit the 3, sorry, it was 18 points. And the best player on the floor today was not A'ja Wilson, it was Jonquel Jones. And through the last 5 games, Jonquel Jones has probably been the best player in the WNBA. Because she's been putting up not A'ja Wilson numbers, not too far off numbers, and they're winning. And if you've looked at the teams that Liberty have played in the last couple of games, I know obviously they played the Fever, but like, they have played the Mystics, who are bad as well. But they've also beat the Sun, and they beat the Aces. They beat the two of them, and a lot of it is Jonquel Jones, who is shooting the lights out. She's shooting the lights out. Like, the amount of people that were saying that she was a snub for Team USA, despite not being from USA and also being naturalized for Bosnia. Like, not being from USA in the first place is hilarious, but, no, you could argue that she's in that MVP position. Like, I would say team record has to be taken into account. And there is the Liberty, who can't seem to lose right now. There's the Sun, who have only lost to the Liberty. And the Liberty, other than the one game, the fluke game for the Chicago Sky, where the Sky just completely caught them off guard, and fair play to the Sky for pulling off that game. But other than that game, the Sun and the Liberty have only beaten each other. Like, they are right now the two best teams in the league, whereas the Fever aren't looking much better. Like, there's only one game off, stats-wise, or like record-wise, the Atlanta Dream. And the Atlanta Dream, that's it, Fever, I mean the Aces. The Atlanta Dream looked like the worst team we'd ever seen when they played the Fever. They were awful. And this Aces team, at the start of the year, they looked pretty good. When they had that really cushy run, their first 4 games were home. They only had, by the time Caitlin Clark had played 12 games, they'd played 5. It was all looking fine. All right, they went 3-1. It's all good. They lost to a Kalia Copper Masterclass. And then I watched, like, I'm the damn WNBA curse. I made a video calling the Aces unfair after they lost to the Dream. And my logic was, This is the worst the Aces are going to play. And the Dream played a near perfect game, and it was still neck and neck. And since then, the Aces lost 3 in a row and are now 500. And they're very lucky to be 500, by the way. Like, if they went, they could have very easily lost to the Mystics. If Jackie Wilson doesn't go, or Jackie Young doesn't go berserk, they lose to the Mystics. Not the Mystics, the Mercury. Sorry, I'm mixing up these team names to start with the same letter. They lose that game, and then they're negative. So this is a crazy team because they actually have nothing off their bench. Like, Tiffany Hayes isn't terrible. Kate Martin plays a role, and she plays her role really freaking well. Megan Gustafson plays a role. Coulson plays a role. But you're also looking at, like, you're looking at some players in their starting lineup that don't really do much. This team is A'ja Wilson and, like, when you've got A'ja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young, you can't look this bad. I'm sorry, when you've got players at the caliber of those three, you can't be this bad. Like, being bad's fine. You can't be this bad. I'm sorry. They look absolutely shocking. And if we're ranking how teams look right now, maybe things will get better when Chelsea Gray comes back, but she hasn't played in a year. She hasn't played in the guts of a year. And, like, as somebody who has torn their Achilles, I know how hard, like, obviously she didn't tear her Achilles. I know how hard it is to come back from a tough injury. Like, even with the best rehab in the world, if you've been out for a year, you're going to struggle, especially if you, like, are coming in and you're not able to ease your way in. If she's coming in close to the playoffs, it's going to be extremely tough. Like, if she was coming in preseason, was able to ease her way in a couple of games, ease her way in the start of the season, the team could afford to be a little bit worse than normal because, okay, Chelsea Gray's playing her way back in. But no, Chelsea Gray is going to be coming back in and expecting to make this team a super team again. They are looking like the damn 2013 Lakers. They're looking like the 2022 Lakers. They're looking like one of the worst super teams of all time. And this is A'ja Wilson's best individual season. Everyone talking about, oh, A'ja Wilson this, A'ja Wilson that, guaranteed MVP. If you're asking me for, like, an actual MVP ranking, it probably goes Nafisa Collier, Alyssa Thomas. As of right now, Breanna Stewart. But the way Jonquel Jones has been playing, you can put Jonquel Jones in that conversation too. And, like, you're looking at Jonquel Jones, who's won an MVP. I think Nafisa Collier is probably I don't think she's the best player in the world. I still think that's A'ja Wilson. But if you're asking me for an MVP right now, because of the way the Lynx are playing, it's probably Collier. It's probably Collier because, literally, what does A'ja Wilson need? She needs more than 2 other Team USA players. Like, we need to go NBA on this narrative. A'ja Wilson struggling without one player, but she's got 2 Olympic players. She's got some great role players and a coach who's making $2 million a year. So there's no excuse at this stage for the Aces. And they have to play again. They have to play the Liberty a bunch more times. They haven't played the Connecticut Sun yet. I don't think they have. They might have played the Connecticut Sun. They may have played the Connecticut Sun. I think I might have got that one wrong. And they've played the Fever. To be fair, they haven't played the Sky. They definitely would beat the Sky. So, look at their things. They beat the Mercury. They beat the Sparks. They lost to Mercury without Griner. They beat the Fever. They beat the Lynx comfortably, but then lost to the Dream. Beat the Wings, who suck. Lost to the Storm. Lost to the Sparks. They lost to the Sparks, then lost to the Lynx. Just about beat Mercury, and then lost to the Aces. Yeah, they haven't played the Sun yet. They have not played the Sun. They have not played... they've only played Seattle once. The only good team they've played twice is the Lynx. Or to be fair, the Mercury. They played them twice. But still, this is a team that is in a rough spot right now. And if A'ja Wilson wants to win that MVP, they have to at least win 27 games out of 40. At least 25. It's got to give us at least 25.